Hello, hello, hello. Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you from Harvard University here in Cambridge. Beautiful campus. I like Harvard. When I was here as a tourist, just driving through, very beautiful campus. I want to do a video here, Sir David the Bard, on education. Now, I don't know why. Maybe the rest of you have had these same experiences that I've had. But I have a lot of people that I've come across in my lifetime that say to me, well, I don't need an education. And I usually say, you're certainly right. You don't. Now, I'm not here to blow my head up. That's for the ISIS people to do. I'm not here to rag on anybody, and I'm not here to be somebody's whipping boy either. My little wife yesterday, she was sitting with immigration papers, millions of papers on the table, all stacked up, and trying to. It took her 4 hours to call into immigration, the United States Immigration, to get her parents' information. But anyway, she's sitting there at the table, and she's close to crying. And of course, the Bard is the Bard. I told her, I said, you know what? If you really want to know me, that's what I did for 7 years of my life. Sitting at a table like that, in a library, we didn't have computers a lot of my education, 20 or 30 books spread, huge table, and I'm sitting there trying to pull together all of the information out of each book to come up with a paper. A paper that is scholarly. One that would be accepted by professors at a university on a subject. Certainly my undergraduate at BYU was, the pay me, lay me, and ail me classes. Those weren't that hard, but now once I got into real college, master's level, they expected you to be able to accomplish something. Now here's my bitch. Okay, here's my bitch. I don't care if people get an education or they don't. That doesn't affect me. And I don't care. I don't have an opinion. I'll tell you what affects me is when people make fun of those of us who spent the time to get an education. People who do that, I find repulsive. They're people trying to justify their own stupidity, their own lack of culture and education. Now, we all know, and boy, I'm the first one, when my plumbers come in here, or my the alarm people and the other blue-collar workers that have worked for me, I honor them and I respect them for the education, the knowledge, and the skills that they have that I don't have. I didn't go to plumbing school. I know that shit runs downhill, but that's all I know about plumbing. I admire any man or woman who has a legitimate trade, occupation, or profession. They all require a certain amount of education. But when you meet these fools in life that go, well, I didn't need an education. Yeah, well, where are you? You're living in the Philippines in a squatter's camp. I'm not living in the Philippines in a squatter's camp. I'm not rich. I'm far from rich. But you know what? I did my time. I did my time. And I had to have professors that didn't like me. Now, I know that's a surprise to a lot of you. Someone that doesn't like me. I worked in one class, I remember, at Tahlequah on one master's degree. The guy hated me. I couldn't get out of the class. I worked and I worked and I worked hard. He wouldn't give me anything but a C. The only C that I got in 2 master's degrees. Rather than a 4.0 on my master's in that university, I had a 3.98. I had to deal with it. I told him I didn't mind going back to jail. Raise that grade, but he wouldn't. Now here's my point. We should all have respect and dignity for everybody who has legitimate occupational skills. I need the cable guy. I need the plumber. I need the electrician. I need, maintenance people. I need all kinds of human beings around me. Now let me give you an example. People that live in the Philippines that are stupid, that are uneducated, who live in a squatter's camp and throw their American passport in the ocean, change their name to protect the guilty, will say, well, you don't know anything. Everything you do is stupid. Just because you have an education doesn't mean you know everything. I'll tell you what an education does mostly. It teaches you where to go to get information. It gives you probably a 10,000 word vocabulary that other people don't have. And you know as well as I do, you guys that drive taxis, you guys that and gals that do all kinds of skills, you have your own vocabulary and your own language in your skill. Others of us don't understand it, especially with attorneys. They all have the magic words that they know. The rest of us don't know that, so it makes them look intelligent. Just because a person has an education doesn't mean they're a highly intelligent person. But I can tell you what it does mean. It means that they can start something and finish it. They can start something and finish it over years. Shit that's hard. Shit that's hard. They can take being made fun of. They can take the stressors and the pressures of professors and committees that say, you don't know shit, do it again, do it again, do it again. Red marks. Freshman English was my difficult one. Spelling, because I have a disability in spelling. I didn't know that until I got later on in life. Red marks, do it again, do it again. We didn't have spell checks. We had to look a damn thing up in a dictionary, and I always said, how do you look it up if you don't know how to spell it? They know something because they started and they finished at a level that met the standard of a corporation, the standard of a university, the standard of apprenticeship, union standards of workers. They met a certain standard that other people have not met. Now, does it mean they're smarter? I think generally it does. Sometimes it doesn't. I've met some really, stupid educated people. Now, let me give you an example. My heart surgeon, I did that quad bypass 2 years ago. He comes into the room and he says, I want you to meet the preacher here. And I said, okay. And I thought, that isn't a good sign. That isn't a good sign. So anyway, the doctor left and the preacher says to me, well, before you go into surgery, would you like me to pray for you? I said, hell no. Pray for him, the surgeon. Make sure he's had his coffee, that he's happy, he's not fighting with his wife, and that his skill level is at its best today. It was. It was. He cut me open, spread my ribs, went down to the heart, went down to the veins in the leg, cut pieces out of the leg, sewed them up into the heart, and then closed the whole thing up and made me suffer 2 years of pain and agony to heal. But I'm here to do the Bard Show. Am I glad he went to college? Or should I go to the Philippines, to the squatters camp, and knock on the door, which is a blanket, and go, is the squatter surgeon here today? When I was in the Philippines, they have home remedies for everything, and ceiling fans give them gas, and they have a lot of superstitions, a lot of third world superstitions, and they have a cure for everything. One is food. If you're sick, the first thing they want to do is feed you, even though, you may be dead by trying to eat food. The second one is a banana leaf off a banana plant. And they put that leaf on you wherever you're sick, and it will heal you. Now, if that's the kind of medication you want, and if that's the kind of medication you want to depend upon, how does that hurt me? That doesn't hurt me at all. I go to my doctor, my regular doctor, great guy, I like him. He's a Mormon, but he's a real human being. He's not a fake person and a full-on Mormon. He's got me on 10 or 12 medications a day. Oh, you don't need those medications? Go ask my ex-wives. Go ask my ex-wives and my children. Do I need medications? Am I glad that he went to school? Am I glad that he studied those drugs and knows which ones are good for me and which ones aren't? I go over to the pharmacist. He says, have you had this drug before? And I said, not that I know of. Well, let me tell you about it. He has all that information. And they have machines now, the computers talk to each other, so you don't end up getting conflicting medications. If they know what you're taking, they don't give you something that's going to kill you when it mixes. I just went down to the diabetic store, and I got some diabetic shoes. I'm embarrassed. You know, when I was your age, I thought old people that had diabetes and heart problems, they were old damn people. Just old people. They should die. They should die. They're just, but you know, somehow when you're here, you go, well, maybe another day or so. So anyway, I went down and they took an impression of my feet. And then they went out and Obama paid for $400 of tennis shoes with my foot print inside of them. So comfortable. My balance is back, my feet don't hurt, and some of the little bit of dark toenails that weren't getting oxygen are starting to come back white and delightsome. You don't want colored toenails. Colored people are okay, but you don't want colored toenails. It means they're going to cut your feet off. I'm glad these people went to college. I'm glad these people have skill levels. I'm glad the men that built that building that I was in knew how to pour cement, knew how to put the roof on and run the electrical wires safely. When I hear a person make fun of educated people, it just turns my stomach. And if you look at their life, people who make fun of education are usually the most stupid, inconsistent failures as human beings that you're going to want to find. Now, I have one critic, and I'm not going to give his or her name, that does live in a squatter's camp in the Philippines. Now, you've seen poverty in the United States, most of you, but some of you that come from other countries that watch my program, you know what real poverty is. I've seen squatters' camps. I've been driving through squatters' camps in the Philippines. Basically, little water, if any, running water. They're usually by the river so that you can bathe in the river and throw your shit in the river. There's disease. There's no vaccinations, there's no doctors, there's no medical supplies other than a banana leaf. The people can barely read or write, most of them can't. And the land is owned by the government, but the people squat on the land, and then the government makes some exceptions, I guess. Sometimes you can own it, sometimes you can't own it, but the people there, children are basically naked or underpants, and that's basically it. There's no air conditioning, there's no fans, temperatures in the 90s, and roads are not paved if there is a road, and filth and squalor everywhere. There's no removal of trash, there's no services in a squatter's camp, there's no lights at night, there's nothing. And you know, you burn your trash or you just throw it at the side of your house and let it rot. Now, I have a person like that lives like that. And they make fun of me going to BYU and Tahlequah University and Springfield College. I spent 7, 8 years in school. Now, that doesn't make me smarter. That makes me working harder. Here's a great quote. You can quote this. Most people find working with the mind much harder than working with the body and the hands. Else, why would so many do it? Why do most people work with their hands and their body? They're creating something, they're in a factory or a machine, or they're putting up drywall or other kinds of things. Why would they rather do that than go to college and read and understand philosophy a little bit, understand art, history, and geology, astronomy? They don't want to know that stuff. They just want to, put up drywall until they're so crippled they can't do anything. And then because they didn't, they took money under the table, their Social Security ain't worth shit. And they retire, in a third world country trying to build themselves up as if it's not a failure. Well, you decide. You decide. I don't like people who make fun of other people and can't say one damn positive thing about them. And I'm telling you, in a family, to me, it's toxic. Get away from toxic. Parents, brothers, sisters, family. When you have toxic people doing nothing but criticizing you and making fun of you, you need to get the hell away from them. I did, and I'm happy. And the comments that come in, I don't know, I'm up to maybe 50, 60 comments a day that come in, and I think I'm right around 1,700 hits a day. And out of that, there's a lot of funny people out there. A lot of you people are funny as hell. I sit here and laugh and laugh. Some of you are dumb as a rock. You argue with the Mormons trying to convince them that their religion is stupid. You're never going to succeed. I don't get into it. I don't comment on comments usually. I don't comment on comments because I don't erase them. I've only erased 1 or 2 comments in the whole time. I've got, I don't know, 10,000 comments or something. I've only erased 1 or 2, and that came from my idiotic brother in the Philippines trying to make money off of my clientele. This show does not make money. It never has. It never will. One of the reasons I think that people watch this show is they know I don't have an axe to grind. I had a Mormon the other day say that I'm doing this because of all the money that I get. Here's the money sign. Here's the Mormon sign. Here's the money sign. I have never taken $1, 1 penny, 1 million, 1 billion, nothing. I don't accept money because money makes you prejudiced. Money makes you prejudiced. If someone was sending me $100,000 a month and really was a good Mormon, I might be a little lighter on the Mormon experience. You know what I'm saying? You want to be honest? Don't take money. Truth is free. Always remember that. Truth is free. Someone tries to make you pay for truth or special knowledge, I'd give that the jaundiced eye in the finger. The jaundiced eye in the finger look like this. I think. I don't know, what is a jaundiced eye? I've said that all my life. I don't know what it... Oh, but I'm uneducated because I don't know a jaundiced eye. So anyway, let me say, I'm pleased that I went to college. I have a richness and a quality of life that is not a squatter's camp in the Philippines. I had some problems with construction. I cut myself on the foot. When you're a diabetic and you cut yourself on the foot, it can be dangerous. It may not heal. And my little wife is in here, and Allison is in here, and they're putting sterilized bandages on it, and Desitin, and putting clean socks over it, and, I'm comfortable. My diabetic shoes, that makes me comfortable. Where's, I don't know where. When I do this, I know my president of my fan club, Anna, she dances to this. I'm glad I have 10 meds. I feel good. I don't feel bipolar. I act a little bit bipolar, but I don't do bipolar stupid stuff like I used to. And helps my heart. I'm comfortable. Have a nice chair. Have the wind blowing there, and the fan, and the lights, and the camera, and the action, and friends. And my family. So please, get an education. I don't care what kind of an education it is. I don't care how long it takes you. Some educations take longer than others. But when you don't have an education, and you got the balls to say education means nothing, that really reflects on tremendous stupidity. When I look out this window, I see nature. I see the blossoming of the plant life out there. I see the growth of the trees, and have knowledge of biology, zoology, 2 or 3 ologies, that help me to look and see. When an uneducated person looks at that tree, they don't know how the water gets up to the top of that tree. It climbs up there. They don't know what osmosis is. They don't know generally what photosynthesis is. They don't know. Does it make me a better person to know? Yes. It does, because my life is fuller. I see more. I think more. I have more words. I have ability to express myself far beyond the normal thinking of normal uneducated people. So, I just wanted to get this off my chest. I had to get this scar off my chest from the bypass surgery. But anyway, I respect all people who have any education or experience. When I see workmen doing their jobs, I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how skilled they are. When I see a guy on a great big piece of equipment building a freeway, man, I'll tell you, when I fly to Utah, I see them building bridges in Utah. Unbelievable technology. I see them building a huge 5 or 10 lane bridge on the side of the road, not on the road. And when they're done with the bridge, in one night, they raise it up, put it over on the road, drop it down, and it's there. I've never seen that kind of technology. And when men can do that, women can do that, I'm amazed. Do you think I would stand beside one of those workers there doing the cranes, and they're all coordinating together, and all of the rebarb and all of the concrete moving, and the huge, huge steel bars? I mean, I've seen steel bars in bridges in Utah that are probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 feet long. They come in on trucks, and the trucks aren't even connected. They have the wheels on the back of the thing, and it comes in the middle of the night. They build this bridge, they lift it up, put it down, bam. And I just sit there and go, God, that is amazing that you people have those skills. I don't go up to a workman and the foreman and say, I can do that. You don't need an education to drop that 1,000,000-pound bridge in the right spot. Does that make me look like a horse's ass or what? I see it. People who have skills are wonderful to watch them work, whether it's a jeweler, whether it's a painter, whether it's an artist, a singer, whatever. But when you go around the world saying education isn't important, you're pretty right about yourself. Education wouldn't have done a thing. It wouldn't have done a thing. You see what you see, you say what you say, and I don't want to go on. Hey, lay, hail. Oh God, hear the words of my mouth. Get an education 3 times, a true word of prayer. Don't cut my throat, don't cut my heart, and don't cut my guts out. And get an education. Do something you want to do. And when I see these doctors and nurses and people, cashiers and others that are good, they know what the hell they're doing. They're hard to find, in the human existence. People who know what they're doing are far and few between. So anyway, get an education. This bar's gone.